guys, how are you? Hope you're all doing very well. This afternoon I'm going to be doing another movie review. This movie is a horror film from the USA, English language, released in the year 2016, directed by Nicholas Pesce, and this film is called The Eyes of My Mother. So The Eyes of My Mother is about Francisca. She grows up with her parents in this very remote farm-like house. And her mother is an eye surgeon, so her mother is teaching Francisca all there is to know about eyes through the eyes of a cow. So when she slaughters a cow, she takes out the eye, she dissects it, and she lets Francisca know everything about it, so she becomes obsessed with this. So one day there is a horrible event that leads to the death of Francisca's mother, and so Francisca relies on her father. So many years pass and her father ends up passing away, and now she feels as though she's been abandoned. She feels as though she desperately needs company, and she will go to great lengths in order to get that company, which basically makes her go down a road of psychosis. So what that road of psychosis is, and what happens and what's in store for Francisca, is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on The Eyes of My Mother. This is a very, very intriguing film. It's a very different film, and I thought it was a very, very haunting film. And that haunting aspect that the movie has is down to the fact that it does have a lot of time and attention to the minor details. This is a movie that does have a lot of patience. This is a movie that's not trying to shock the audience for the sake of shocking them with cheap scares, jump scares, excessive gore, excessive nudity. This is a movie that really does play on your psyche. This is a movie about a woman, about abandonment. This is a movie about what people will go in the lengths that people will go to in order to get that company that they want. So basically you've got this woman who is this villain, who is a villain unlike any other villain you've seen, is because on one hand she's doing these horrible things, on one hand she's the stereotypical sort of villain, but on the other hand you've got that relatable quality, you've got that quality of an innocent girl who had these horrific things happen to her in her past that have caused her to be the person that she is. So because you've got this villain that you can relate to, because you've got this villain that you've got a strange sense of sympathy for, you feel as though, okay, this is a different type of film. This is a movie that really does make me feel uncomfortable, and I don't really have anyone to genuinely hate, is because this villain is very sympathetic and quite pathetic in a way, but it is a way in that she is a result of her environment. She's a result of her circumstances, and that you basically, the old saying of the way you're raised is the way that you become. And so this woman, this young girl who starts off as this innocent person who's been thrust into this very, very disturbing world, has become the result of basically the product of her past. And so you get that relatable quality, and all of a sudden you feel as though, okay, it's not black and white. The movie is done in black and white, but I feel that the overall themes and the depth to the film is the complete opposite of the way that this movie is shot. So the movie is shot in very black and white, which gives it an otherworldly sort of presence, but at the same time the themes depicted are contradicting the overall black and white sort of cinematography that it has. So I thought that was very interesting, in that the black and white does give it a different otherworldly approach. The black and white does give it that gothic sort of presence. It gives you the state of psychosis that this woman is going through, but the overall themes are not black and white. The overall character is not black and white. So I think that the overall cinematography contributed, when it clashes with the character, I thought that it was very different in the way that it was depicting. So that is definitely the best part of this film, is that was very interesting. And another good part of this film was the fact that the woman who played Francisca, Kika Magalhaes, absolutely knocks it out of the park. This is a woman who you would be afraid of. This is a woman who you would sympathise for. So as I said, there's all that, these conflicting emotions in that you hate what she's doing, but you can sympathise for what she's doing. So you're not condoning it, but you can understand it. And when you get a level of understanding to a character, when you get a level of understanding to a villain, all of a sudden it basically throws all the rules out. So you don't know what to feel, and that's what gives it that strong sense of discomfort, in that she's, some of the things that happen in this film are absolutely horrific, but then, as I said, because you can actually understand what's going on and why she's doing it, and she's not just a mindless killing machine, it just gives you that sort of, you don't know where to go, you feel lost, you feel disorientated, and you feel as though you're going through just a really bad nightmare, which is exactly what the director wanted. So the score was absolutely fantastic. The acting from the supporting cast was great. There are some scenes in here that were truly, truly disturbing. It's not graphic in its violence as far as graphic kills are concerned, but it does show you the aftermath, and there were some moments in here that I just saw were absolutely nightmarish. So this is a genuine horror film. This is a horror film that doesn't cut corners. It's a horror film that does pay respect to the horror fan. So if you are after something a little bit different, then I would highly recommend you check out The Eyes of My Mother. But my problem with the film, unfortunately, was the fact that it goes to 76 minutes. Now, it feels as though, although you're watching a very rewarding and satisfying film, at the end of it, you feel that it was a little bit too thin, in that it felt like it got to its base a little bit too quickly. Although it was very patient in what it was trying to do, I thought there wasn't enough runtime for the movie to really expand and really spread its wings. And so I feel that there was a little bit of potential there that wasn't realised just because it just didn't have time. I don't know if that was down to budget constraints, but I just thought that the movie would have been a little bit better if it fleshed out the Francisca's childhood and Francisca's adulthood. And I just thought that the movie just had a little bit more room to maybe delve into stuff a little bit more. And so in the end, what you get is a movie that you feel, okay, I watched a very interesting film, a very disturbing film, but in the end, I watched a movie that was a little bit too short, and I just thought it was a little bit thin. So that was my only problem with this movie. It is definitely a movie I would highly recommend to anyone out there who wants something a little bit different, and as a result of that, I'm going to give The Eyes of My Mother 3.5 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later.